Okay, and we'll say hi and welcome everybody. Welcome to our call about getting unstuck. Both Dani and I have hit multiple stages in our lives where we've been stuck, and some of the greatest moments of being stuck have been, for me, having a body that didn't work, that was pretty stuck, a career that ended prematurely, that gave me being stuckness in life, and also when starting something completely new.
In the past, I have gotten physically stuck thanks to a back injury. I have been stuck in old patterns. And when I have been faced with goals that seem impossible or absolutely humongous, which is a big clue right there, I get stuck with new stuff too. So, it happens.
Yeah. So when we're struggling or wrestling with something that gives us a feeling of being in glue or treacle, and it's a sign of becoming stuck, and it's actually time for us to do something in a new way.
So let's just all take a few minutes, and if you have a pen and paper or type on your computer, write down a few areas in your life or our lives, things that we need or want to do, spaces where we are stuck. So for example, we'll take about 5 minutes to do this, but for example, it could be if you are, like right now, I am sort of dealing with some challenges with my dad, so I'm sort of stuck right there. So I would write down, maybe I'm dealing with grief, or maybe I'm dealing with something, trying to get information and I'm stuck in that area. So any area that you are stuck in, just take a few minutes and we'll just jot it down.
So we're going to give 5. Have you got a counter going, Dani?
Yeah, I'll set a timer.
Thank you. Being stuck is sometimes just something you don't even know. I just don't know how to do something, so you're stuck. For those that are in Lifebook, think about your categories. Where are you stuck? Which ones?
Mm-hmm. It can be if you've started a course and you haven't finished it yet.
Oh, wonder who I know. Which one? Which course we're talking about?
All of them. No, just kidding.
No. Yeah. Could even be something you want to say to somebody, but you're stuck. Mm-hmm. Not knowing how to say it or what to say.
Mm-hmm. A decision, if you're having trouble making a decision.
Mm. Yeah.
Lack of motivation.
Mm-hmm. Lack of passion and desire.
Mm-hmm.
Ego's another good one too. Mm.
Or maybe you're stuck down the rabbit hole of the internet.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Or social media.
Yeah. Or stuck moving forward because you can't do what you've always done.
Mm-hmm. In the chat, someone posted that they are financially stuck. That's another area.
Mm.
Maybe you're stuck in an old pattern.
Yeah.
Old beliefs.
Yeah. How long have we got left?
We're about 30 seconds left. Or 1 minute left, rather. Sorry.
Stuck in all of it. Yeah, the lack. Stuck in a thought pattern.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you view something.
Perspective.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we on time?
Mm-hmm.
Time's up. So whatever you've written down, for each item that you've written down, look at it and see how stuck you are. Ask yourself, how stuck am I really on a scale of 1 to 10? And 10 is completely and utterly stuck, like super glue. But how stuck are you for each item on your list? Whatever the first number that comes into your mind is the right one. Don't overthink it.
All righty.
Okay.
So now we get to explore the glue of your stuckness. Basically, what is keeping you stuck?
So what emotion might be keeping you there? And there might be more than one.
How will you free your mind to take action? So feel free to jot down some notes as we go through this and guide you through.
For each item in your stuck list, which of these reasons apply? Perhaps it's fear or a combination of maybe fear and overthinking, or it's overwhelmed with so much to do. Is your frame of mind getting in the way, or the stories you keep telling yourself? What are you focused on? Do you just not know what to do?
So we're going to start by taking a look at fear, because this is the one that often gets in the way.
So fear is your survival mechanism. It's keeping you safe from an impending danger. And with all the events that are going on around the world, it's not difficult to see how and where this might occur repeatedly and equally be keeping you stuck. But it's also a response to negative stimuli, which may be experienced through engagement with others or through what you see and what you hear. And the extent of our fear will be based on our internal barometer. As with all emotions, we can manage them more effectively using a set of actions like the ones shown in this recipe card. And using some of these or some of your own will help you to reach a point of overcoming the stuckness, the fear. And what does managing emotions mean? Well, it's simply getting to know what your emotions are, what contributes to them, in other words, your triggers. Being able to honor your feelings, honor that emotion that you're feeling right now, and understanding the impact of it. Being free to imagine the freedom you want, having the desire to change that emotion, and create your own directions that shift you to a better state.
Just remember that each time we face our fear, we build confidence, especially when we overcome that fear. The more we practice this, the more we develop faith in ourselves and belief in ourselves. It's not always easy, but the rewards are huge. The more you do, the more you grow. It all ties together. Which brings us into the next part. We're going to talk about overwhelm.
So you're overwhelmed, and that's resulting in you being stuck. So first, you just need to develop some awareness. Write down all the things you're stuck with, and you've just done that today, and you may have more to add to it, and you can carry on adding those over the coming days, weeks, months. Reframing your thoughts around each item on your list gives you the opportunity to think differently about it. Asking yourself, why am I stuck, and how can I overcome it? And I'll actually add to that, ask yourself that question out loud. Let your mind hear the question, because it will help you. And what do I need to believe in order to start to do that, whatever you're stuck with? Overcome that, finish that, get to the end of the stuckness. And if you look at each item on your list, write a list, simple list of things that you need to do to get started on that area that you're stuck with. What's the first thing that you could do in order to step over that stuckness? Or even a list of things in order to accomplish it. And then write down what you need to figure out along the way, where you might get that from, who can help you.
So before you even get started, focus your attention on the one item on your stuck list that is calling you the most. And, give it your full attention. And just look at that item. See if you can visualize the outcome that you are going to achieve at the end. Like, what outcome would you like from this item where you're currently stuck? And how do you want to feel when you get the outcome that you hope for? Really connect with the positive emotion. So if maybe it's relief that it's done, maybe it's excitement, maybe it is just joy. Try to connect with that positive emotion and go as far as to create your own recipe for success. So what is a strategy? What are little steps you could take? Or, we've shown you can create a recipe for your emotion to get unstuck as well. But think about what it looks like. In December of 2021, we actually ran an event called Freedom from Overwhelm. And I'm going to post it in the chat, a link if you're interested in checking that out, where we give you some more information on dealing with overwhelm.
Yeah, and a lot more tools. Yeah.
A lot more tools. So, because overwhelm is definitely a place you can get stuck. So now another area where we get stuck is not knowing what to do.
If you don't know what to do, spend some time thinking around what your vision is or might be. What do you want to do? What's the outcome you want to create? So that touches on what Dani spoke about on the last one. What's the result that you want? And based on the answers to that, you can actually determine your actions. And if there's any leverage points along the way. And then you can step forward and achieve those results. But don't forget to celebrate your journey along the way, not just at the end. But what if you've got something like a lack of skill or knowledge? Go back and look at the vision for that thing that you want to get unstuck with and figure out what you need to learn to get there. Do you need to take a class, hire a coach, hire an expert, talk to somebody that's just got some knowledge? Connect with people and look at what your strengths and weaknesses are. What are the resources that you have got? And if you understand what they are, then you'll also then know what you need.
By analyzing where you are now, where you want to go, then you can create the bridge or the steps to get from point A to point B, to get from here to there. Now, what if you don't have a vision? Start by figuring out how you want to feel. You can look at what you would love your day to look like, what your collective days might look like. Or you can reach out to us and we can guide you through the Lifebook program. Or in the Lifebook, you have a 12 category SMART life. And if you've done Lifebook, you've got the vision, so you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
We've also done an event in May called the Have Faith in Your Vision Outcome and Results. And I will post a link to that, so you can check that out if you want more information.
The key for this one is there's always something, there's always one small step you can take. There's one action you can take. So let's have a look at the frame of mind now. Your frame of mind is going to influence your focus. So what are you focusing on? If your mind is full, you're certainly thinking, but is your thinking helping you or hindering you? You might be overthinking, and we'll have a look at that one in a minute.
Questions you can ask yourself of, are you mindful? Are you aware of what is going on in your mind? Are you thinking about what you can't do or what you can do? Are you being open-minded? Are you being closed-minded? Are you focused? Are you unfocused? Are you distracted? If so, by what and why? So let's go to overthinking now. When you are overthinking, you first need to get out of your head and into your heart, because we can overthink everything. And in the words of Tony Robbins, when you are in your head, you're dead. Actually, I don't know if he's the originator of that quote, but he says it a lot. So where is your focus? Are you focusing on what isn't working or what is working? Because that can make a difference. Crafting your vision, knowing your why, and having a purpose, it gives you clarity, motivation, and direction on where you want to go.
Another one I'd actually add into that is, where's your focus? Are you focusing on what isn't working and what is working? Or are you just not focusing at all? In which case you've just gone into a space.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what's triggering your overthinking and actually connect with what it feels like to be overthinking. It's actually quite scary. But deconstruct the overthinking by doing a brain dump. Just allow everything to tumble out. Get it down onto paper, do a video, do an audio, just get it out of your mind to something somewhere where you can start to look at what this is all about. And write down your thoughts and ask, does this thought serve me or not? Mm-hmm. And what if it does serve you, what are you going to do with it? If it doesn't serve with you, what are you going to do with it? You've either got to do something with it or get rid of it. Or go and put it in a library somewhere. Just go and park it somewhere for now. So let's take a look at some quick tools that might help you with overthinking. Every thought you have creates a vibration, and that vibration goes out into the universe and it comes back in a wave. So when you overthink, think of this imaginally, when you overthink, you're sending out a tidal wave into the universe. Well, what's going to come back to you? A tidal wave. So if you want the nice, calm water, you're going to have to shift your thoughts. Shift the pattern of your thinking to what you want to have. Shift your focus to what really matters. Shift your focus to your vision. Shift your focus to your future.
When you overthink, you tend to create stories that have happened, that may not exist, and that may never play out as true. You've already made your mind up about what will happen. You've wasted your energy and you're shifting away from what you really want. So it's important to be aware of your thoughts.
Is what you're thinking true? What's really happening? How many of your thoughts are expectations or stories that you've already created?
Let's look at a classic situation. He didn't text me back. He doesn't like me.
He's in the middle of a meeting. He didn't even see your text until the end of the day. What's the story that you've just told yourself even based on?
Chances are my story was created from a previous experience.
So you've actually replayed an old story. What a great lead into our next slide. The story you tell yourself.
Our stories are mostly based on past thoughts, experiences, and patterns. And your confidence level and self-esteem also play a significant part. And then there's your frame of mind. Are you feeling positive or negative? What mood are you in? Good, bad, indifferent? And what about your energy level?
Oh, and your beliefs. Your experiences and resulting beliefs can create a biased narrative. And that's on top of your natural human negativity bias of fight, flight, and freeze.
So now we're going to look at some of the ways we can remove this glue that we're stuck in.
Before we move, I just want to pick up what Susan said. Naturally, an overthinker, so this is new and sounds like an old pattern, but my husband is a worrywart, so I try to avoid that. Sounds like I'm in a trap. I have some work I didn't think I was thinking. Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it's just about raising consciousness. It's becoming more aware.
Awareness is power. Awareness is power.
Absolutely. Yeah. So how can we unglue, get rid of the glue, become unstuck? Well, we can reframe our thoughts, beliefs, and stories, and even change our past experiences. We can reframe our thoughts during or after the thought itself. So during a thought means becoming fully aware, conscious of, and focused on what's going through your mind. And you start to think something about an event or person, perhaps, and midway shift your thinking. And what you're doing is you're effectively changing your mind. That's hugely powerful. If it's after the event, then it's more of a reflection. You're reflecting on what was said, what happened, and you're thinking about the situation or the person. And on reflection, you'd rather think something else instead. So you might have thought something they'd done was bad, but you reflected on it and you got inside what was going on and you think, actually, no, it wasn't that bad. And you've come up with a different thought entirely. Reframing beliefs can be as simple as, I used to believe one thing and now I believe something different. Very, very simple, straightforward. But of course, stories often get changed over time and naturally through our mind not being as good a gatekeeper as we might think or hope, or through the passage of time and who said what. So rewriting a past story with your new fresh eyes is one way of giving it a perspective and a way to reframe that story. Relive the story, but go back to the story and back through it as who you are now with all the learning you've done. And since our past experiences have formed beliefs, we need to go back through those past experiences with that different set of eyes to be able to create a new set of beliefs and ultimately change our experience. Because past experiences may be buried deeply in our subconscious along with the beliefs that they hold. And what are they doing? They're keeping us safe and they're protecting us in some way. But if they're getting in your way, then you can, of course, contact myself as a belief clearing coach and we can work on that and we can do a discovery session and help to uncover them. But don't be stuck by past. If you want to explore beliefs more, then you can also watch the replay from the event that Dani and I did in February, and she's put the link for that in the chat.
Comfort zone.
Yeah.
So this is, we've touched on this topic before too. One of the fastest ways to get unstuck is to get out of your comfort zone, which not many people really want to do. But it it will, sometimes you're pushed and then you just got to go with it. So
comfy and cozy.
Comfy and cozy. I mean, hey, I would love to be comfy and cozy all the time, but that's not how it always works. So our subconscious mind, it's the gatekeeper of our comfort zone. And this is what influences our thoughts and feelings. In order to get out of your comfort zone, you need to know and understand what your comfort zone is. And then remind yourself of or create your vision of the future. Because this gives you the focus to move forward. Because if you have a why, if you have a reason for stepping out, you're more likely to do it. So you shift the boundaries of your stuckness by taking a step forward. And then as you move forward, it's really important to celebrate along the way. So if you want to explore this whole comfort zone, Heidi and I have done a whole, we've done a whole event on stepping out of your comfort zone, and from in June, and I will post that link in the chat.
Okay. Another way to get unstuck is create recipes for your emotions, because that's all about being prepared. Prepared by understanding what emotions you experience, your triggers, and then taking action by having a set of go-to directions to help you move out of an unwanted emotion or to stay in a desired one. So I created recipe cards for several emotions, and this one that's showing on the screen here is for fear. And in the words in the right-hand panel, I called that my shopping list, and it was words that related to fear, that resonated with me as a relationship to the fear emotion itself. And at the top are the ingredients for the fear emotion, which I researched and found out about. And then the directions, well, those are the things, the actions that I will take or I do take in order to overcome fear. And the set of directions allows you to move through the emotion successfully. And what successful looks like working through an emotion will be different for everybody. So I'm not telling you what success looks like, but it will make the moving through successful. How a situation made you feel would benefit from having a strong related direction. And then journaling about your emotions is a wonderful way of digging deeper into what prompted it, what you felt about the situation, and how it made you feel. Capturing what you did or will or did use to manage it provides you the opportunity to reflect and refine. So there's no immediate one size fits all for an emotional recipe. You might create one, use it a couple of times and think this doesn't quite work for me, and you'll refine it. But in so doing that, you become faster and quicker, and it becomes easier to manage the emotion when it comes up. And again, Dani and I did an event back in March, which was examine your emotional ingredients, and she's put the link for that in the chat. And that we went into a lot more detail around creating emotional recipe cards.
Doing something in just a slightly different way can also create the power of a shift. A fractionally different movement sets us up on a new and different path.
Now, I'd like to say that this picture depicts how I did something in a different way, but it's not quite. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But I actually recently challenged myself to get out of bed each morning for a week in a different way. So I didn't go to the extreme in the photo, but I did create imaginative ways to shift my pattern of behavior. So I got out on the opposite side of the bed. I rolled down the bed and I climbed off the end. I stood on the bed and then stretched before getting down whichever side took my fancy for that particular day. I held the headboard rail, lifted my legs up and down over towards the side of the bed, and then climbed down. I slid out of the bed with my hands down first and head, and just rolled down onto the floor. It was fun, it was playful, and it was a powerful shift in my emotional well-being. One simple change.
And of course, you've given us wonderful visuals to imagine how you have gotten yourself out of bed.
I think if I'm going to do this one on the picture, I'm going to have to get a ladder. I don't know. maybe I'll bungee jump down out of bed for this particular one. Who knows? But this is about having a bit of fun. Yeah.
The important thing is that by shifting things, we shake things up. We make a change. And when we change, it helps us to get unstuck.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about finding the right tribe or the right community, because this can be another really powerful way to get unstuck or to even keep you from getting stuck in the first place. So questions to ask yourself are, does your tribe or community uplift you? Do they encourage you? Do they motivate you? And if they don't, perhaps you need to find another tribe that meets your need, or to voice your needs to that tribe. And it's okay if you have been in a tribe or a group that no longer serves you. It's okay to find another. You know, think of the leaves on the tree. Seasons change, things shift, people grow, and they have different interests and different connections.
Different evolution.
Different evolution.
Growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Dani, does your tribe hold you accountable?
That is a great question, because I'm in several accountability groups, and I realized that I wasn't being held accountable in the way that I needed. So a few months ago, I decided it was time to step up, and I asked my group to call me out with love so that I could identify old patterns and to set new standards for myself. And I asked them to hold me accountable so that I can break these old patterns and to move on from the past into the Dani of the future. Basically, what I had them do was point out, because they've known me long enough to recognize my patterns, and to point out and be like, hey, Dani, you're doing it again.
So actually you raised the bar with your group rather than stepping away. So that's brilliant, because quite often we think, oh, that doesn't work and we'll move away from it, rather than thinking how and what can we do to change it. But what if you haven't got a tribe or a group, but need one?
Well, finding your tribe, your community, your group, it might take time, but with perseverance, you can find the right people to help you to step forward. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask. If you go to a seminar you like, reach out to the person leading the seminar, say hi, let them know what you're looking for, or if they have suggestions about people like them. Don't be afraid to, and it can take a lot to put yourself out there, but it's really worth it in the long run. You want to look for people who light you up or who inspire you. And a lot of times they talk about we've heard with John and Missy have talked about when they want to go in the room and they want to be the person in the room who knows the least so that they can learn.
Yes. And don't be afraid to reach out to people you think are so aspirational or ahead of you, because people want to help. And they may then point you in a brilliant direction that you can't even imagine right now.
Yeah. So you want to know who is in your space and the role that they play and how they actively support you. This helps you to step forward and away from the glue.
And focus on how you're spending your time. Use it wisely and bring your future into the now, rather than wasting it and creating more glue.
You want to forge inspiring relationships, ensuring that you get what you need rather than to propel your life forward instead of being held back and keeping you stuck. So I noticed that someone, just touching on the comments, I'm in
need, but it's like repellent.
Yeah. But it's sometimes it's hard, it's like that stepping out of your comfort zone area. Yeah. So sometimes that's really challenging, but when you do, the payoff, you want to think about the payoff, like where will it get you in the long run?
Yeah. Think beyond the repellent.
Yes.
Yeah. So now it's your turn. And we'd like to ask those of you on the call to name 6 more possibilities other than the ones that we've shared. What other possibilities can you think of to become unstuck, no matter how impractical? Dare to throw in some that are outrageous and ridiculous. Have fun with it. Just share some thoughts and ideas in the chat. What other ways can you become unstuck that we've not already shared with you?
You can create stories to help you get unstuck. You can envision being unstuck. Don't think of how, just what. And ask yourself questions, come up with scenarios, get more and more perspectives on possibility, not stuckness.
I love that, Diane. Play with it.
Yes, play with it.
Make a game. Create a game on how you're going to get out.
Mm-hmm. Small tasks that become habits over time. It's Tony Robbins talks about the 2 millimeter. You know how with the when he was golfing, the 2 millimeters was the difference between in his golf stroke by many, just being by simply 2 millimeters off.
Enroll in activities you've never done before.
Yes.
Doing something totally different. Ask how would it be if I were to be unstuck? Yeah, absolutely. Challenge yourself, find a category part of life I wish to improve. Absolutely. Make a challenge on how I'm going to improve it.
Yeah.
Similar to what Dani was talking about, something I'm actually beta testing Quest for Mind Valley at the moment. But one of the things they talk about there is whatever you're going to do today. So if you want to start exercising, you're stuck with this is all too big for me and too much too far. Just do 2 minutes today or 10 minutes today. And tomorrow you're going to add 2%, just 2% to the 10 minutes. And then cumulatively, the next day, you'll add another 2% to the 10 minutes plus 2%. And you'll just keep growing. Don't go to I'll do an hour today, because the day after you'll be absolutely shattered and you won't be able to do the hour and you've just become stuck again. So I love this absolutely small steps. Music to inspire, new playlist.
I like this one. Assume it is easy.
It's toots, act as if. I'm not sure I understand that. Is that a Victoria?
Mix it up, try new things, find what works best.
Yeah.
Create a routine that fits your goals. Talk to yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
I like that.
What's the worst case scenario? Absolutely. What's the worst that can possibly happen? I'm toots. What if it was your last chance to get unstuck? Yeah, absolutely. Get a map with your eyes closed, point to a location and go there and explore. Love it.
I love that.
Elevate your vibes, present your future idea to friends or foreigners. Absolutely. Talk it out.
Yeah.
And the more you talk, the more you'll start to come up with your solutions. It's fantastic. Become more conscious of decisions every day, how it impacts your future self. These are fabulous. Brainstorm with someone who knows you. How about brainstorm with somebody who doesn't know you?
Well, that requires you to step out of your comfort zone and be vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. These are fabulous. Keep them coming as you think of them, just drop them in. But Dani, it would be great if you could take us through a meditation now for becoming unstuck.
I can do that. All right, everyone. So if you just want to sit and get comfortable, we're going to, just take a moment and feel your feet on the floor. Take a breath in. Let your breath catch any tension in your body, and then release it with your exhale. Inhale, grab the tension. Exhale, release. Inhale. As you inhale, imagine your breath grabbing the tension in your body. Exhale with a big sigh. And just release that tension. Whenever you get stuck, creating movement of any kind can be really helpful. So breathing, walking, stretching. If you have the space around you, inhale your arms up. Above your head, bringing your palms together. And then as you exhale, bring them down, hands to your heart. One more time, inhale your arms up. Bringing your hands together, exhale down. And then bring your arms up, inhaling up. Exhale, release. As you bring your hands down in front of your heart, keeping your hands in front of your heart, just look your head up. And inhale, and as you exhale, look down. One more time, inhale up, look up. And exhale, look down. Inhale, look up. And exhale, look down. Just gently place your hands down. Close your eyes. Feel your body settle in. And just align your spine. Imagine that it's balancing on your hips. Breathe. So let's check your body. Keeping your eyes closed. Imagine that you're scanning your body and set an intention that with this scan, you will become aware of where in your body you are stuck. So notice any areas that feel tight or heavy. And if there are any areas in your body where you feel stuck. So if we bring our focus to the feet, we bring our focus to the legs, your hips, your back, your belly, your chest. Check your shoulders, your neck, your face, your forehead, the tip of your head. Notice any sensations. Take a breath in, exhale out. Now imagine that there is a mirror in front of you, full body mirror, but this is no ordinary mirror. It reflects the energy in your body. So as you look at this reflection of your energy, what do you see? Do you see colors, lightness, darkness? Does the energy show where you felt stuck when you did the body scan? So just take a moment to connect. And if you aren't sure, that's okay too. You've set the intention, and there are power in intentions. So now, imagine all the energy that is stuck within you. It's going to become a heavy hooded cloak around you. And it's going to drag onto the floor. So as you inhale in, let your breath grab onto any stickiness in you. Exhale it out into the cloak so that it's outside of your body. Inhale in. Grab onto any stickiness or stuckness. Exhale out into the cloak. How heavy is this cloak? Does this cloak have a color? Look into the mirror again and Notice that it's now become a doorway leading into a path outside. And the sides of this path are lined with flowers and greenery. Step through the doorway into the path and feel your feet on the ground. You immediately feel a sense of grounding and connection. You stand firm and tall and you take a breath in and exhale. And this is no ordinary path. As you take a step forward, you notice that the path is absorbing your cloak. Each step you take, you can feel the cloak being absorbed into the path, into the ground. And each step forward, you feel stronger and lighter. And eventually you feel the last of your cloak pulled from your shoulders, pulled from your body. It's gone. You continue to walk forward until you get to a circular clearing. In this clearing, you feel the urge to move your body. Excuse me. Celebrating the freedom that you are feeling. As you move, you realize that you feel free. You feel alive. You feel lighter. Maybe you're dancing. Maybe you're doing a yoga pose. Maybe you're just walking or moving. But feel that movement. And as you're moving, you notice another doorway appears. And you know that behind this door is the next step that you need to take to get unstuck. Open the door. And what do you see? Do you know what it is you need to do next? Do you know how you will feel when it's done? Sense of relief, sense of joy. I'm going to ask that you step through this door. And in stepping through this door, you will find yourself returning to your body. You've taken the step. You return to your body. And now you feel a sense of being empowered. Feel your body. How does it feel now? Inhale, and as you inhale, feel your breath, fill your body up. Exhale, release and relax. And feel that freedom within you. Feel that lightness. And just let yourself breathe. Bringing your palms together in front of you, fingertips touching. Take a moment to wiggle your toes. Maybe let your body sway back and forth, get some movement. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. And you can take a few moments to jot down any observations from your experience. And if you have questions, you can ask us questions. And thank you for joining us. And I hope that you enjoyed this meditation. And we do have this will be recorded, and there's a recording of the meditation that's separate if you ever feel the need to return to it and do it again. So thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Dani. Interestingly, Dani and I did this meditation yesterday, and I had a pain across my shoulder blades. I had exactly the same pain arrive today. And it's all about the next step I need to take. And it's to do with actually writing something I need to write. So I just need to go and do it. I just got to go and do it. Go and write it. Key for me here is life is for living, not for being stuck. And it's about valuing yourself enough to take that next step. Do it now and do it for you. Nobody else, just for you. I love that, Mary. Love the meditation. Would like to do that one daily. Feel free to be me. Absolutely. Be free to be you. If anybody wants the handout from this event, then drop your email, if you wouldn't mind, in the chat, and I'll get that out to you early next week. And that will include the link to the YouTube video for the meditation as a standalone as well. Thank you. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any feedback? What are you going to get unstuck? Right. I'm going to do my piece of writing. I have written down my thoughts and ideas. It's just now starting to construct. That's my brain dump. Yeah. Get out of your brain. Thank you, Susan. Share a real life story of getting unstuck. What now? How long have you got? How long have you got? My biggest getting unstuck, which Dani and I were talking about earlier today, funny enough, and it's the thing I've got to write the next piece with and for. My biggest getting unstuck was I was diabetic. I thought my being stuck was in life and needing, and then I went on the journey with Lifebook and the things that came all around about the time in 2018. That isn't what was stuck. I was stuck with at all. That helped me as part of my journey, but my journey started before that, 2 years before that. Reversing my diabetes, becoming unstuck from illness. And that was the start of the journey. And that's where my passion and fire is now. And that's the piece of writing. I'm going to be creating a course to help other people become diabetes type 0. In other words, don't have it anymore. Become a type 0. That's who I am. So that was me becoming unstuck. It was about what were the steps, but it started with a decision. The decision to become unstuck, the decision to do something, the decision to take action, the decision to be comfortable with my decision, and that I actually understood what that meant. Not, oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to be easy. And if I create a course, it's not about it's going to be easy. People have made the decision when they buy the course. That's not the decision. The decision is I'm going to be type 0. That's the decision. And that takes guts. It takes courage. It takes stamina. It takes resilience. It takes all of the things. Natalie, my sister's on the verge of becoming diabetic. So digging real into my vision of why am I even going to create a course? Because I want to change the legacy for my family. I want them to step out of the legacy I inherited of my family all being diabetic. Hell no. So that was a huge one for me of becoming unstuck. And here I am about to write the course, and I'm not stuck in the true sense of the word of I don't know how and what to do, but I've got some resistance of writing it. I've written lots of ideas, and now I've got to construct it. But I will do it one step at a time. I will create one module for the course at a time, and then I'll do the next and the next and the next and the next. But if I stay in here in my head of thinking, then I'm never ever going to create something that's going to transform other people's lives. And the people that matter most to me, everybody matters to me, but my granddaughter, she's nearly 2. I do not want her to get anywhere near the age that I did and suddenly become diabetic. She doesn't need to. if I share the tools and the journey to not even go there in the first place. So that's what stuckness was for me. That was huge.
I can talk a little bit about stuckness as well. I'm dealing with a situation regarding my father's health right now. And I am literally stuck in the sense that I can only, he lives long distance. His health isn't doing well. And there's paperworks and things that need to be signed. And I'm limited with what I can do. And I've been getting, I can get stuck in the thoughts and the stories of, oh, what if I can do this, or what if I can do, what if I can, maybe I need to just drop everything. And the fact is, for most of you who know our story, I can't just drop everything because I have a family here and I'm still caregiving for my husband. So it's been, for me to get unstuck, I've actually had to let go of the expectations and be like, okay, I can only do so much. And a question that I've been asking myself, is it critical? If I rush down right now, will it make a difference? No. I've made plans to go down, but it's not going to make any difference that if I go down beforehand versus if I go down to when it's planned. If I, and so it's really keeping my expectations in check and the stories that I am telling myself, because I can be like, oh my gosh, my father needs me. He needs me right now. Well, he's dealing with dementia right now. And we're pretty sure he's also been there's a spot showed up on his lung. So we're pretty sure it's dementia and cancer. And for those of you who know, with dementia, you can't do anesthetic. So to get the test, and then will his body, he's 81 years old, will he survive? So there's all of these things, and I can get caught up in the stories, and I can get caught up in the, some people want to do certain things. It's what's best for him at this point. And how do I move on with my life while I'm processing the grief? Because all of the feelings are coming up. And sometimes you just need to sit with those feelings and feel the feelings. And that can feel stuck. You can feel stuck in the feelings because,
Yes.
you wake up in the morning and you're just like, I have no motivation today. But I know if I go and I can get myself outside, my eldest and I have this challenge this year that regardless of the weather, we're going to get outside and move. And it can be for 5 minutes. It can be a loop around the block.
Yeah.
But if we get out there, we've moved. And you know what? When you get out, and if you're in Lifebook, I talk about category interconnectivity, especially with walking. And I get out and I move, and that makes my day a little better. And that helps me manage my emotions a little better.
Yeah.
But this is a process, and I get to put these tools.
And you just talked about your recipe. You've just talked about exactly emotional recipe.
Yeah.
And how do you measure whether you've been stuck at all?
Yeah. Sometimes we think we're stuck, and we're actually making the 2 millimeter shift.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. My measure, which I was just talking to Dani about earlier today as well, my measure for my day is, has my day flowed freely? That's it. That's my measure. Has my day flowed freely with beauty and ease and joy and fun and all the things that I want to experience in everything that I do? So with the writing that I need to do, I'm going to make damn sure it's fun, it's exciting, I enjoy it, and it will flow. And I know it will flow because I'm going to allow it to, because I'm going to set the mindset. Yeah.
One of the comments in the chat, the decision to get unstuck is a personal decision to be free.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Beautiful.
Guys.
Thank you for joining. If you've taken one little nugget out of the event, that's brilliant. If you've taken more than one, that's even more brilliant.
There's a lot of links in the chat, so if you want to save the chat so that you have the links, please feel free to do so.
Yeah.
And I did put a link to the meditation from today, because that is there. And then we have a general YouTube channel where you can find our past events.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have an awesome weekend.
Yes.